Hello, it's my great pleasure to speak here today. This gathering is unique in bringing together educators, learners, teachers, innovators, all great minds to learn and interact with. Before addressing my topic, I would like to tell a bit about myself. I am Meline Grigoryan, an Armenian-based education researcher, trainer, author of a motivational book like a manual devoted to educators and students. And the title is the following. If you are a teacher, it means you motivate, include, and value. Also, I'm managing education programs at COAF. It is a Children of Armenia Charitable Fund, which is a non-profit organization seeking to advance rural communities by improving education, healthcare, economic development, and the whole village life. And I'm also a 100 ambassador and country lead. With my career and experience in education and research, I constantly believe that education should be fulfilled with positive and educational aspects. Before speaking about the topic, please think about this simple question during this session, as after my talk there will be a time for discussion and questions, and I would like to come back to this point after it. So, the question is, bored or stressed? Are they simply our students? Please think of it. So, let's begin. It is a well-known fact that nowadays many traditional public schools do not offer much in terms of autonomy and do not allow students to learn at their own speed and ability. The system process is often undermines students' inclination to pursue topics that interest them and deeply engage them. The grading system used in most schools further discourages them from self-directed learning that is born out of enjoyment of the process and passion for the subject matter. And in order to comprehensively understand what is motivation is, we need to provide engagement in our classrooms, foster the motivation to learn and develop talent, support the desire to stay in school rather than drop out. And the fourth one is inform teachers how to provide a motivationally supportive classroom climate. And what we know about motivation in education, in educational process, what is it? We all come into the world with natural curiosity and a motivation to learn. Yet, some lose those abilities as they grow older. Many factors shape our individual inclinations toward the process of learning, and education is crucial context that can influence our later attitudes toward the acquisition of knowledge and growth. All we know that true learning is a lifelong process, but to continuously achieve, our children must find it enjoyable and rewarding to learn so they can develop a sustained level of motivation necessary for long-term achievement. Curiosity and motivation to learn is the force that enables students to seek out intellectual and experiential novelty, and it encourages students to approach unfamiliar, often challenging circumstances with anticipation of growth and expectations to succeed. Highly motivated students are usually actively, spontaneously, are involved in activities and find the process of learning enjoyable without expecting any external rewards. On the other hand, students who exhibit low levels of motivation to learn will often depend on the rewards to encourage them to participate in activities that may not find it enjoyable at all. According to one research, 7 factors endorse motivation. And these are challenge, curiosity, control, fantasy, competition, cooperation, and recognition. Many of these are present in psychological educational games. And current trends in educational psychology draw attention not only to cognitive development, but also students' motivation and preference as the fundamental factors in fostering effective learning and achievement. Lack of motivation, a significant barrier to academic success that exhibits itself through feelings of frustration, annoyance, students experience productivity and well-being in the long run. Several factors influence the motivational level in learning, such as the ability to believe in the effort, the unawareness of worth and characteristic of the academic tasks. And what we know about motivation and learning. What is it? Like, to simplify it, it is our students. Like, to simplify it, if our students are motivated, they learn better and return more of what they learned. Although this sounds obvious, and the reality is more nuanced, and the research shows that not only motivations are created equal. The literature on goal achievement recognizes 2 primarily and distinctly different types of goals: mastery and performance. Some of our children are driven to master material skills, develop their competence. Others strive to perform well in comparison to others. And what we know about motivation and creativity, such as what is creativity in educational and motivational field. Our students' ability to generate novel and useful ideas and solutions to everyday problems is a crucial competence in today's world, which requires high levels of motivation and a good dose of creativity. That is reality. Although creativity is to some extent tied to personality, to personal traits, it is also influenced by the supportive aspects of students' environment, sense of mastery of the domain or medium the student is working in, which may or may not influence self-efficacy. And finally, by levels of motivation and their intrinsic and extrinsic characteristics. There are some tools that we can test, we can master in our classrooms depending on age appropriation. First one, I can call like generating alternatives. In order to have better solutions, we must have more choices to begin with. The next one, challenging assumptions. Though we need to assume many things to function normally, never questioning our assumptions leaves us in the thinking ruts. Quotas. It helps to come up with a certain predetermined number of ideas on an issue. Often, it is the last or final idea that is the most useful. The next one is analogies, trying to see how a situation is similar to a apparently different one is a time-tested route to better thinking. Reversal thinking. Reverse how we see something, that is, see its opposite, and we may be surprised at the idea it may liberate. The next one is finding the domain idea. It is not an easy skill to master, but extremely valuable in seeing what matters in a book, presentation, conversation, and so on. Brainstorming. well-known brainstorming method. Not lateral thinking itself, but provides a setting for a kind of thinking to emerge. Judgment. Decide to entertain deciding. And the last one, the last tool that I would like to share today with you is suspended judgment. Deciding to entertain an idea just long enough to see if it might work, even if it is not attractive on the surface. As a final word, I can say that creative breakthroughs never just come out of the blue. They are almost and always the results of years of hard work. Creativity results from a complex interaction between a person and their environment or like culture. As a conclusion, I would like you to read these quotations and keep in mind